Dearest you, I just came back home from a visit to nature, something I haven't done as much lately as I actually know is good or best for me to do. I live near beautiful nature, sea, a very big forest, and in the forest there's also this water stream that goes out into the sea. So I've been there for some days now in a row, and I walk both through the forest to sort of sense the trees and the energy there, and then through that water streaming, and there's stone in the water, and it makes this beautiful sound. And then I stand there or sit on a tree and sense the sound of the water somehow flowing and cleaning my aura or me. And then to the ocean and sitting there and listening to the waves and the sound of the waves sort of coming and, yeah, again, cleansing my aura and me. First, I walked through the forest today and tried to sense the energy of the trees, those big trees that have been standing there for maybe 100 years. This stability, this deeply earthbound energy. And then I looked for a tree that I was extra drawn to. And when I found it, I went to that tree. And first, I leaned up against it with my back, and I intuitively sensed the energy of the tree. And I also asked if I was allowed to get a little of that strength and that earthbound energy from the tree. And after that, I turned around and then I, held my arms around the tree and put my forehead on the tree. And then I asked, do you have a message for me? And immediately the tree said, I'll have to look because the translation, the tree said inside me, it came immediately, stand firm. And then I asked, stand firm in or on or what? And then the answer came from the tree. It answered, the abyss. And I was quite astonished because I've never thought that would come, the abyss. And then I asked the tree, what will that bring me to stand firm in the abyss? And the tree's last answer to me was, infinite amounts of light. Those answers touched me deeply, and it brought to the surface what I have felt um, have followed me very closely for a while. This sensitivity, but also this vulnerability, and I um, I welcomed it, and I stood there by the tree and let my tears run. The message for me is clear. Sorry, I have to look here. The message for me is clear. I am going through what feels like standing on the edge of the abyss. And what that requires of me is that I stand firm, deeply rooted in me, in my essence, no matter what. And when a breakthrough is happening, I have the possibility of experience this infinite amount of light. Yeah, which for me, which for me is insight, clarity, joy, love, growth, transformation. I believe that many, just as me, right now is feeling something similar, both because of what is happening in the world right now that can bring, even though you might not be one who listens to the news, it's very difficult not to sense this chaos and what is going on politically, war, messy, and so on. And it's easy to that let that bring fear or insecurity up in us. And the feeling of that we potentially could stand on the edge of the abyss. But also because of the energetically energies that's creating huge transformations, both in us individually and also in the world around us. That we as humanity stand in a big is standing in a big shift that is much bigger or larger than we can imagine, I believe. And as within some years will will transform us and the world we live in. And that if we stand in ourselves deeply rooted our core, in our core being, and don't let fear rule us. And we have trust and faith that all this happening is a part of a higher plan. Then there's this possibility of this infinite amount of light, the Creator's essential light, both in each of us and also on planet Earth, will appear. I pray too that you must be deeply rooted in your core, that you must be full of trust, strength, and courage, and that infinite amount of light might flow through you and in you. In love from me to you.